الكلمة الآن إلى ممثل سريلانكا.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair. My delegation takes this opportunity to extend warm felicitations to you and the members of the Bureau on your election. Sri Lanka aligns with the statement made by Guinea on behalf of the Group of 77 and China. Madam Chair, the Commission for Social Development is convening this year while we are at a juncture in our efforts to realize the 2030 agenda whilst mitigating the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. It is indeed a moment to, I say, reflect on how we got here and what the future holds for us. Though we committed in 1995 to implement and monitor the outcome of the World Summit for Social Development, we find ourselves in a situation where poverty, unemployment, and social exclusion continue to be rampant, unabated in every part of the world. Did we really need to wait until a microscopic virus expose us to the realities of the inequalities that exist in our world order and weaknesses of our current systems to do something about it? So as such, let us focus this morning for a moment about the future of social development in the context of the pandemic. Dear colleagues, it is most likely that we may have to live with this for quite a while. For example, let's surmise and say 5 years from now. Do you think we'll look back at the coronavirus and say, the pandemic changed a lot of things about the way we in the United Nations do things? Is that what we might say? I'll tell you that some members that I talked to a few days ago think that this may be a transformative in the way we as the United Nations will provide sustenance to the global public. How should we reorient the global social system in the context of a global novel virus that has confined us to our homes already for almost an year? It has had the impact of already reorienting our relationships, certainly to government, to the outside world, and even to each other. Think about it. Now, this reorientation, in my view, that we have so far seen in the times to come will make us feel unfamiliar or unsettling, and we must be ready for that. The questions that will haunt us will be, will nations stay closed? Will touching each other be something strange? Will debate in open, unrestricted session, as in the past at the UN, be something of the past? Where is the human being in the representations that I make? But remember that moments of crisis such as this also lends itself to opportunity. The crisis has expounded the important role played by digital technologies when attempting to deliver essential services to the people. It will undoubtedly continue to be essential in ensuring a just transition towards sustainable economies and sustainable societies. The government of Sri Lanka, Madam Chair, took a number of measures to ensure the continuity of work in the country despite the pandemic. Free internet facilities were provided to undergraduate students to enable them to continue learning without disruption. E-learning special student data packages were introduced at concessionary rates. However, one cannot hide from the fact that given the low level of internet penetration, the accessibility of online education tools is low in geographically remote areas. As such, regional and global cooperation is essential to develop digital connectivity and electronic platforms in the education sector. Madam Chair, digital technologies are also being used to disseminate agricultural information amongst farmers in the country. The Sri Lanka e-agriculture strategy was developed with the aim of harnessing ICT potential to achieve agricultural goals. The new digital transformation in the financial sector in Sri Lanka seeks to ensure financial inclusion through mobile banking. Madam Chair, as we continue to harness the goodness of technology while taking all efforts to minimize the digital divide, we cannot prophesize exactly what will come. Here is a forecast of a prophecy, as one academic put it, that has a serious impact on the dream of a perfect world, as we would contemplate it to be. This particular academic, she says the comfort of being in the presence of others might be replaced with a greater comfort of absence, especially with those we don't even know intimately. Instead of asking the question, is there a reason to do this online? You will be asking the question, is there any good reason to do this in person? The online representative will create more distance, whilst no doubt it will give you more connections. As we communicate more often with others who are physically far, far away and who feel safer simply because of that distance, who then is our member state? Who then is the global organization that we belong to? Let's guard ourselves from being represented by a binary notation. That's what we have to guard ourselves. Dear members, as we progress, you will see a new kind, perhaps, of patriotism. You will start to understand that patriotism, a kind of a patriotism, more as cultivating the health and life of your community rather than blowing up someone else's. It is just possible that the need for demilitarization and love of community will be one of the benefits to come out of this major debacle. There will be a decline in polarization. I say this in the context that given our current level of tension at every level of society, the pandemic scenario suggests that the time is ripe to begin to promote constructive patterns in our cultural and global discourse. There will come a serious change in our communities in that information matters. It was easy to reject and ignore environmental and medical experts until the pandemic arrived. There will be, in my view, less individualism, as another academic puts it. This pandemic marks the end of our romance, I say, with market society and hyper individualism. We will reorient our global political ethos and make substantial investment in public good for justice and not in pure law, as we teach and offer international justice as a facilitator of life. We will teach our communities to become more human and learn to look beyond legalistic positions. We will do better to be able to see how our faiths are linked, irrespective of the ethnic, religious, and cultural differences, and our states have been powerful in every sense. Madam Chair, COVID-19 has swept away many of the artificial barriers for moving more of our lives online. As one academic observed, we may perhaps use our time with our devices to think of the kinds of community we can create through them. The list of realities, finally, that would unfold appears to be unending. There are many lessons to be learned, and it is my final wish that we will be rid of this terrible menace of COVID-19 and that we would find the right blend and the balance in the process of achieving a socially just transition towards sustainable development. After all, isn't it the happiness and well being of the global community that we ultimately have to ensure? So, Madam Chairman, please be assured that Sri Lanka will do its utmost to cooperate with you and the world to assure sustainable development and a society which is balanced. Thank you.
يشكر ممثل سريلانكا الموقر